Well, good afternoon once again, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us on today's show. It's Jack Lank from the United Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we try and bring you a weekly update and bring you on interesting guests, talk about interesting programs that are around our community. Today, I'm very happy and pleased to bring on Vinny Rege. He's the Dean of Business and Experiential Education. I probably said that wrong, Vinny, but Vinny, welcome to today's show.
Thank you so much, Jack. Pleased to be here, and you did a great job pronouncing experiential education. Sometimes even I get confused with that, but I appreciate the introduction.
Well, first off, tell us a little bit about Vinny first.
Well, as you said, I'm currently the Dean of Business and Experiential Education at Bristol. Have been here about a year and a half, originally from India, and have been in higher education for the last about 20 years, spent about 20 years, as I said, in Maryland. And moved to Massachusetts after I took up this position in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. So my background actually is in hospitality. Worked at numerous hospitality-based organizations over a period of 15, 20 years, including sailing all over the world aboard Royal Caribbean cruises. And sort of like made a transition into academia in early 2000. So that's just me in the nutshell. Have been there, done most of the things, and will be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Well, what made you switch from hospitality into the education world?
That's a great question, and I love to answer that question. What happened was after having worked in hospitality industry for, as I said, 15, 20 years, decided to get back to school, and I already had my bachelor's in accounting. So when I decided to get back to school, I sort of like landed up teaching some of the courses as a work-study students because the dean of that college where I was getting my undergraduate degree must have seen the fact that I was able to bridge the gap between theory and practice. So that's where the teaching bug bit me, and one thing led to another. And after I completed with my graduate studies, the natural transition was to sort of like be in academia. So something that I mentioned, sort of like that bridging the gap between theory and practice, is something that I'm practicing till now. So
big jump. It
is.
But you're used to dealing with the public, and now you're dealing with students who adore you as their instructor, I understand.
Well, it's one of those things where I always sort of like say that we are in applied profession in business and experiential education. You're basically teaching them and giving them all the knowledge, skills, and competencies, something that they can use once they graduate in the real world and graduate and basically enter into the real world. I always try to sort of like do that in my classroom, bring industry into the classroom, sharing my personal experiences, bringing in industry leaders like yourself in the classroom so that students get a chance to learn from them, network with them. And just being aware of their needs and wants. I think that's something that all the instructors and teachers should do. Something that I sort of like expect from all the instructors that teach in our division. I think it's a pleasure to be in the classroom, and that's one of my happy spots.
Well, tell us exactly what are these courses that you teach and that your whole team is involved in with this experiential education. Tell us a little bit more about that, please.
Yeah, I would love to. So business and experiential is one of the academic areas at Bristol Community College. And the different departments that fall under this academic areas are business administration. Under business administration, we of course have a transfer pathway for students. So once the students actually enter into our business transfer program, once they graduate, they basically transfer into a 4-year academic institution, either in state or out of state. So any UMass campuses or other campuses within Massachusetts or outside. And then we also have a business career associate's degree program that actually have several concentrations, right from accounting to financial management. We have small business and entrepreneurship concentration. We also have marketing concentration. Hospitality and event management is another concentration. So students sort of like get more specific, industry-oriented education, something that they can capitalize on once they complete. And these career programs are more terminal in nature, where they graduate and start working in the industry. In addition to that, we also have sort of like short-term, more condensed certificate programs where students come take all those required core courses in, again, marketing and finance and accounting, in hospitality, and they graduate in 1 year's time. So that's, again, like for predominantly for adult learners, predominantly for those folks that are either working for a career change or somebody who's like looking to get back into getting their academic credentials. So certificate programs are really good for those folks. It's very condensed, as I said, like between 24, 29 credits. We also have some certificate programs on at Bristol that are like about 14, 15 credits. And literally like in 1 year's time, you can graduate with these certificate programs and make yourself gainfully employed.
Well, one of the strengths that you have, and obviously I do a little background before we bring you on the show, you are able to share with them real world experience. Being in the hospitality industry for 15 plus years, you can talk to your students and give them examples of what really goes on out there in the real world. And I don't mean this as a knock, but sometimes in higher education, because my daughter is a professor at Northeastern. They don't have the real world. They have the book knowledge, but you actually have boots on the ground, feet at the tables with your customers, and you're able to share that stuff with them. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. So besides the academic areas that I spoke about, Jack, I also supervise one academic center, and we call it EEC, which is Experiential Education Center. So through that center, we offer two sort of like very unique programs. One is internship across the campus, and that something that you are talking about, which is bringing in that real world environment into an academic content. So that's where students actually go and taste, get the feel of real waters before they graduate and start working in the industry. And the research shows many students that do internships, about 86% of those students land up getting a job at the same place where they actually have completed their internship. So that actually is great. And the second program that also resides under EEC is our service learning. Students also need to understand how to give back. So they do work on projects and activities where they sort of like do more community-based projects and sort of like understand how what are the nuances of giving back to the community. So those two programs fall under Experiential Education Center. So they get that. We also have a very unique program that I supervise. It's known as CPL, which is Credit for Prior Learning. So this is like the second part of second angle of what you're talking about. Initially, I spoke about students as a part of the program, academic program, going out and using whatever they have learned in the classroom, applying that in the real world. We also have several students that actually already have enough experience in the industry. And how can they sort of like use that to get credits into academic programs that we have here at Bristol? So CPL is a great tool, a great vehicle for allowing them to use those work experience and acquire credits in many of our courses here at Bristol. So we do value that experiential education, and something that we are happy to assist students with.
Well, you must have some type of a formula, how many years experience you've had in this, how you did this job. So that has to equate into, whatever level of credits that, you have come up with the matrix, right?
Yep. So Bristol actually has a formula to do that, but we also have different ways we can facilitate that. So number one is if somebody holds a credential, an industry certification, such as many of our chefs that work in the restaurants or in the hotels, many of them actually have credentials through American Culinary Federation. Most of the hospitality managers have certifications such as sanitation, serve safe. So if they actually have those certifications, they can literally bring those certifications and we can offer them credits for certain number of courses. In the same fashion, there are several other disciplines where we do that as well. With regards to a number of years of experience, as long as they have shown enough competency, we sort of like assess how much they have learned, how much they know. So we actually will give them a proficiency exam. And if they pass that exam, we actually give them credit for that particular course. And the last one is, besides examination, if they actually want to sort of like create a portfolio to show us what exactly have they, the knowledge that they have acquired, so they can get credit for certain number of courses. So there are several ways we can offer this credit for prior learning.
Well, one of the things, and one of the main reasons I brought you on today is to talk about this, because during this pandemic, a lot of people have either lost their jobs or they have decided, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do X, Y, Z. And your program allows them to take the experience that they've had in the past, bring it to you, and you can help them decide what path they're going to take. And with that proficiency exam, you can help them decide, what's the next step in their career.
You're absolutely right, Jack. I think this pandemic has taught us many things, and our focus is certainly on bringing in students who are adult learners, and we are sort of like creating very unique products. We are creating very unique avenues through which we actually can allow adult learners to come into many of our disciplines, get the acquired credential and get back to work. CPL is one of those things. We are also are creating like specific certificate programs for specific campuses. So, for example, in Attleboro, we are thinking of launching a certificate program in marketing, which is going to be great. In Taunton, we are talking about starting a brand new certificate cohort in entrepreneurship. So those kind of things actually are in the play, and any adults that actually are looking to get back into getting back to school and getting these credentials can certainly make use of that.
That's one of the very unique things that we have about Bristol in the Attleboro area, as well as down the Fall River. If there is, if you have a question in your own mind, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Go and sit and talk with the folks at Bristol Community College. If they can help you, if they can guide you, they've been a gem in the city for a long, long time. I've had the pleasure of having the new dean, Janet Ray, on the show a short while ago. I've done stuff with the president, Laura Douglas. It's just a fantastic team over there, and they're here to help you. They're here to see you succeed. So if you have questions, if you have an issue, pick up the phone, give them a call, or now that we're able to start to do a little bit of face-to-face stuff, go knock on the door over there. It's a great team. Janet, Laurie, and obviously Vinny's going to jump in. We had a short conversation here, I think a week or so ago, about creating some of these programs for the businesses. And that's something that we're going to explore over the next month or two to see, what my businesses are really looking for and what they need. But the thing that I really like is you're so flexible and you're adaptable that you are going to basically maybe create some of these courses that they're looking for.
You're absolutely right, Jack. And another thing that besides, of course, we are available for anyone that actually has any questions or want to learn about any of our academic programs. Of course, we are here to answer those questions. We can also sort of, we also have this very unique thing right now where we have different modalities. A lot of adult learners they were very hesitant to sort of like get back into academia and getting the credentials and taking classes, because many of our classes during pandemic were in an online format. We actually are bringing quite a few of our courses on campus now. So we will be offering more in-person courses at all our campuses starting fall of 2022. So anyone that actually was hesitant and sort of like put their plans on hold because we were offering many of our courses online can certainly come back and start taking those courses in person now starting fall.
And, don't let age be a barrier. Speaking with Janet and speaking with Laura, you have, students that are 18, 19 years old, and then you've got some in their 70s. It's never too late to learn. It's never too late to learn a new skill. And the way that they teach at Bristol Community College and the team that's over there can make you feel very comfortable getting back into the classroom setting. Vinny, we're getting a little close to the end. Do you have some final thoughts for us?
No, just wanted to sort of like let everyone know that we are here for you. Any questions that you might have, if you just want to sort of like give us a call or send us an email, and if you just want to sort of like show up and sort of like either take the tour of the facility. If you want to sort of like sit in any of our classes, we actually have this vaccination mandate right now. As long as you satisfy all the requirements, we'll be absolutely delighted to have you on campus before you. It's sort of like try before buy kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And if you're interested, we'll be more than happy to facilitate that for you.
Well, that's awesome. Vinny, thank you for taking the time to come on the show today. We like to let the public know, the great things that are out there. In Bristol Community College in the heart of Attleboro has been one of the gems for many, many years. I know so many folks that have gone there because you also have a great partnership with Bridgewater State University. So you can go to Bristol, get your 2-year degree, and go right downstairs to Bridgewater and complete your 4-year degree. So it's a very unique opportunity in the city of Attleboro. We have great people like Vinny who are there to teach you, Janet Ray, the new dean over there. And we encourage you to reach out to them, talk to them, and see what your next career might be. So Vinny Reggae, thank you very much for taking the time to come on today. Appreciate all your insight. And you and I know we'll be talking a lot more.
Absolutely, Jack. It's a pleasure to have, thank you so much for having me. And I really look forward to more conversations moving forward. And as I said, if there is anything that we can do for any of your viewers, we are here for them.
Awesome. Vinny Reggae, thank you very much. Big shout out to Dave Angel over at AACS and the whole team over there for being patient with us every week. Dave is our producer. Jim Jones and his team over there do a wonderful job for the entire community of the city of Attleboro. So, folks, thank you once again, and we'll see you next week. Stay warm out there today. It's a little chilly.